everyone. I'm Barbara Levy, CEO and President and founder of London International Advertising Awards. Sorry I have to be here on film and not in person, but I am coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada. I founded the awards about 37 years ago in London. It was the first truly international advertising award. The other major shows that are all still around, by the way, at the time were either British-based or US-based, or in the case of Cannes, it was just TV and cinema. We were the first multidisciplinary, international, truly international award show. 37 years later, people say, why are you coming to us from Las Vegas? What does that have to do with London? And what we say to them is, what happens in Vegas never stays in Vegas. We have found that Vegas is the perfect place to hold an award. It's outside of everyone's office area. No one's running to meetings because there are no places to meet unless you're talking about bars and coffee shops. And it's a little oasis in the middle of a desert. We have, for the past 12 years, brought together the top people in the ad industry from around the world. And I suppose you're asking how we choose those people. Well, we have several methodology that we use. First one is we ask the networks to supply us with a list of their top creative people. And I emphasize creative because we are the show that is known as Created for Creatives. We only want a creative base. Every piece of work in any competition that we add has to have creativity at its core. In addition to the networks, we also scour the trade publications from around the world all through the year to see who's doing the great work. And by that, it doesn't necessarily have to be award-winning work. It has to be work that your peers have said, wow, I wish I had done that piece of work. We also go out to the independent companies, the production companies, and yes, we go out to the technology companies such as Facebook and Google, but we're not interested in awarding technology for the sake of technology. We award technology-based work based only on creativity. London International Awards, often known as LIA, is on the WALK rankings. We're one of 5 international shows. We are also on campaign brief rankings, both Australia, New Zealand, which is separate from Asia, and Asia. I know that the ranking systems have become very important, especially to the networks over the past few years. So it's important for us to stay on those ranking systems. And the way we are doing that is by building a core base of creatives that come to Vegas and through the year talk about not only the experience here in Vegas, it's almost like a creative retreat, but also about how they judge every piece of work in their media, which when we get to statute discussions makes for great discussions because everyone in the room has the responsibility of knowing what they chose on the first 2 rounds and every statute winner before they walk out of the room. LIA prides itself on no prejudging. Every entry in every category is judged by that respective jury on site. So by the time we get to statutes, which is at least 3 days into the process, the entire jury has bonded, not just as colleagues, but as friends. There's no politics in the room. There's no block voting. We will never have 2 people from the same company on a jury. And in fact, if somebody changes companies from when we choose the juries to when we are in Vegas, we will move one of them off the jury if we find ourselves with 2 people from the same company. In addition, one of the things that we pride ourselves on is helping to train and educate emerging talent. We have a program called Creative LIAisons, which costs the industry absolutely nothing. We pivoted a little bit during the pandemic to make that program virtual. The virtual program was approximately 150 junior creatives from all over the world. We matched them with 3 high-level creatives for a 1-hour mentoring session. Many of them actually had 2 and 3 sessions with the same mentor or coach. This year we were able to bring back on a limited basis Creative LIAisons on site. We had 2 days of panel discussions, top people in the industry speaking to the attendees. But more important than that even, they had access to the top people in the industry. We had a cocktail party where the worldwide CCOs were standing and talking to copywriters and art directors who never thought they would have a chance to speak to a worldwide of any network. The third day of this year's program, we allowed them into our statute discussions, which brings me to another point. LIA is the only international show that allows complete transparencies in the judging rooms. The doors are open to everyone. We've even invited in creative excellence managers and awards coordinators, and they can sit through from start to finish the discussions, watching, even prior to the discussions, watching all the entries just as the jury would see it. Then they too have access to the jury to ask them questions, and they walk away knowing that, wow, I've been entering for years into award shows. I really need to make some changes that could save my agency money, but also help us win a little more. So our educational programs and our transparency has really put us on the map with the creative community worldwide. We are pleased to announce that we are offering, through Kancil's, one place for a young creative to attend the 2023 London International Award Creative LIAisons in Las Vegas. We will, like we do with all the young creatives, pay for airfare, accommodation, provide lunch, and give you unfettered access to people that maybe you only dreamed about ever meeting. Kancil is going to decide how they want to allocate this position. I know it sounds like we've been around a very long time, 37 years, but we're actually the new kid on the block. The other 4 major award shows that are also in walk are double our age. We are very proud that we have managed to be here 37 years later and have our jurors and entrants realize that we are different than the other award shows. We're different in the fact that just our catchphrase, created for creatives, in these turbulent times, and I'm not talking about turbulent times in terms of the pandemic, but I'm talking about turbulent times in terms of the changes that are going around in the industry and in the world, and how we're messaging differently and solving problems and putting out communications that in the past we would be doing a radio spot, a TV spot, and a print ad, maybe a poster or a billboard. It's become apparent that technology in some respects has kind of taken over in a lot of regards. It reminds me of the film industry when special effects became a thing and you couldn't find a storyline. All you found was tons and tons of special effects, and you were like, what's this movie about? And people said, oh, but the special effects were great. Nobody seemed to care. Well, in our business, we have to have a message. We have to have a communication point, and we have to be able to solve a problem. And it's my privilege to be able to receive those entries and turn it over to the prestigious juries that we have and actually say to them, yes, even if it solved a problem, but it did not do it in a creative manner, this is not the awards show for you. We are strictly about preserving the creative industry for you creatives. I know that it's your awards night tonight for the Malaysian advertising industry, and I just want to wish everybody the best of luck and hope we meet up somewhere in person in the future.